Hey, what's up with it, King? What's up with it, Queen? You already know who it is. It's your big brother, Demont Pope, a.k.a. Mr. Purpose over pointless excuses. Listen, thank you for checking in. Thank you for tuning in. Listen, I got another special guest for y'all today. I'm excited about this one. Listen, we crossed quite a few time zones to make this happen. So without further delay, right, I want to go ahead and present to some and present to others, my guy, my next level bro, an amazing speaker amongst other things, but none other than Jerome Johnson II. Yeah, what's going on, Jerome? What's up, bro? Greet the people.
Yes, sir. Hey, blessings, King. First of all, shout out to you, man. You doing amazing things, especially on a platform like this. You're reaching a lot of people and you're touching hearts, which is the most important thing when it comes to purpose, man. So shout out to you. Yeah, my name is JJ, Jerome Johnson II, also known as Mr. Royal Credit. Me personally, I'm an optimistic, holistic mental cultivator, and my whole purpose is to help people find their purpose, yes, but at the same time, live the life that you desire.
That's powerful right there, man. You digging out into the content and we ain't even asked the first question. So listen, I can already tell this one right here is going to be up there. All right. Yeah. So listen, man, again, thank you so much for taking time out, man, to come kick it with me, man, and add value to those who think it not robbery to listen to me, follow me, or see what I'm doing, man. So thank you and shout out to you for that. Now, I know you, bro. I know you because we come from a community of speakers, but the people don't quite know you. You just gave them a little sample, but I want to give you the platform so that you can let people know, like, who exactly is Jerome Johnson II? Like, who is JJ, right? And what exactly is it that you do? We know you speak, but you got some more things going on too. Let's talk about it, bro.
Yeah, I'm truly blessed, and I can honestly say that simply because, you know, I grew up from a mom. A single parent, but at the same time, she also put me around people that had the authority, people that actually had gave me the guidance so that I can stay out the streets, so that I can be in a protective environment. So I was always in sports. I was always doing something, man. I was even in tap dancing, believe it or not. You know what I mean? That helped me with my football skills, you know, tiptoeing through the hole, spin moves and all of that. But at the same time, me personally, man, I was always dipping and dabbing in different things. And honestly, doing that so much, there was a point in time where I was like, yo, there's something more to life. And there's something more that a lot of people are missing. And I realized it was purpose. So that's why I love what you're doing, because you speak about purpose. You know what I mean? And there's people that's 40, 50, 60 years old and still don't know what their purpose is. And me personally, my mission is to help people live the life they desire. And that has a lot to do with finding your purpose and enjoying your purpose and actually living in your purpose. So I help people with financial literacy. I go to different schools, speak about purpose and financial literacy, and allow them to coincide with each other so people can actually conceptualize it. You know what I mean? And being able to actually utilize that, because as youth, everybody doesn't get to be exposed to that type of information because their parents may not have it. Like I said earlier, people 50, 60 years old and don't know their purpose, much less no financial literacy. So that's my whole thing, is literally laying that foundation and giving people that sauce and that information so they can literally live the life that they deserve.
Come on, man. My bro dripping with the sauce, man. I hope you're getting that, right? What you said that I love about it is that you help people live the life that they desire. Right. It's so many people, Jay, that's living lives that's been pretty much handed to us. Like we trying to please our parents and we trying to live up to their expectation. We trying to do what the preacher prophesied over the pulpit that we supposed to be doing. We trying to prove the teacher wrong who said we ain't gonna never be nothing. And we just got so many external influences trying to basically guide us and tell us what we supposed to be doing, man. So I like that, because you one of the first that came on and talked about helping people live the life that they desire, right? And you mentioned financial literacy. Like I got another guest coming up soon, and they're going to be talking about financial literacy. But I like how you put that in there, because financial literacy is very important, specifically if we talking about purpose, because it's hard to fulfill your purpose if you broke.
Yes.
I'm gonna go on and address that, Jay. It's hard to live your purpose when you broke, you struggling, you miserable in the job that you're doing. So the job that you're doing can't really fund your purpose because you hate the job. It's barely making enough ends to make. You're barely making enough to make ends meet, man. So I'm glad you pointed that out, and I wanted to highlight that for the listeners and viewers so that we add extra value and we really give them more than what they came for. More than what they came for. So again, to y'all who are viewing and listening, listen. I got my bro here, JJ, aka Jerome Johnson II, with me. Listen, he adding value already. So if you're getting some of this value, if you haven't already, hit subscribe, right? Hit the notification bell so that you know when we release new content. Also, thumbs up, like this, all right? Share it to 10 of your 10 people who you want to see win, basically. Family, friend, don't matter who they are, right? Send it to somebody else because we can't be selfish with this purpose, right? We got to spread it. So, hey, JJ. Quick question, right? Now, you told me, right, that you help people, right, live the life that they desire. And you got me with that one because it's so many of us we living, or put it like this, we're existing. Like so many of us are existing, Jay, and very few of us are actually living. So I love that you pointed that out, and I wanted to keep highlighting that. If they don't get nothing else so far, we want you to live the life that you desire, the life that you was called to live, the life that you was purposed to live. And sometimes it's hard to figure that out if you're stuck in your own box or you're stuck in your own bubble trying to fit into everybody else's plan and agenda. So I brought you JJ here to show you a little bit about how to get out of that box, all right? So now, Jerome, check this out, bro. Have this always been something that you wanted to do, like speaking, empowering youth with financial literacy? And is this something that you've always desired, or did it just come out of nowhere one day?
Financial literacy specifically itself, no. I didn't even like math back in the day. You know what I mean? As a child, like I didn't even care for math. But then when I started to understand you got to know numbers to make money, that's when it started to kick in.
You're dropping bars. Wait, run that back. Say that again.
When I started to understand you got to know numbers to make money, that's when I started to understand, and that's when it kicked in. And then when I started to understand that, then I was like, yo, this makes sense. And I wanted to test it on my peers to see if they knew how to compound your numbers, compound your income, compound your investments, and they didn't. So I was like, yo, okay, I'm on to something. That's when I understood that now, okay, I can grow a business, I can scale a business. At the same time, there's something else that I'm missing, and it was credit. And when I started to understand credit, that was total different game, because now I'm leveraging O.P.M, what we call other people's money, and T.B.M, which is the bank's money. So then when I started to understand that, I was like, yo, it's over. But I still, when you start to understand different things, you now have to continue to learn it, because what I learned in this life, and you can apply this to anything, is leverage. Either you're going to get leverage or you're going to leverage something. All right. And sometimes it's okay to be leveraged, like just like a 9-to-5. Like I've had a 9-to-5 before. That's just not my thing, but I did it because at the same time I was born into it. And that's something that I knew at the time, but I always had a side job, and having that side job, having that side hustle or that side entrepreneurship avenue, I knew that I had a little bit more leeway in lifestyle. And that's what I really, I like to wake up when I want to wake up. I like to go to sleep when I want to go to sleep. I don't need somebody to say, hey, I got 15 minutes to go to the bathroom. That's just me. But it's okay to have a 9-to-5, but understanding when you have a 9-to-5, now you have to really understand. This goes back to living the life you desire. You got to understand that they're leveraging you. So you now have to figure out how to leverage them, understand their processes, their systems. And now you can actually take that information, apply it to your entrepreneurship journey, if that's something you desire to do, or even apply it to your lifestyle, and then go ahead and live the life you desire by leveraging and not getting leverage. And there's a point in time you're going to get leverage, but you have to capitalize and leverage whatever you are partaking in, so that you can extract that information and use it for self. And it's not always for self, but that's where it starts, because once you be able to get that information, apply it to self, now you can share it to other people. And that's where the power really comes, because you multiply the information, and then now you're touching other people, just like you're touching people, man. You touch me on your talks. You know, I've heard you speak, and the passion, it's multiplied. Like it's now embedded into my heart and into my mind. So now I can utilize that energy. Energy never dies. It's just transformed. So now I can transform that energy into my own, and then I could speak, and then I could talk about, you know, the things that I've learned. So that's what it's really about. And just to answer your question again, it wasn't always about me learning financial literacy and teaching it. It came over time, because I had to understand it first and then teach it to other people, but also utilize it for myself.
That's it. And look, Jerome, you got so many things. You done sparked so many sparks in my brain right quick. I'm trying to figure out which one to address first. Now, okay. I got to address the bars that you dropped, man. You know what I mean? I love music. Originally, I'm a rapper. That was my first love, right? Okay. So when you drop bars, I hear them, right? So wow. you said O.P.M, you was talking about other people's money, and that's a term I like to teach my kids, right? Because they specialize in using other people's money, and most times those other people is me and their mom, right? And you also talked about the bank's money.
Yeah.
And we have to learn that at an early age, because it's actually a science to it, right? It's just not a gift that somebody's born with. Like, there's a science to it. You have to learn how to tap into these resources and sources, because a lot of us Black and brown people who going through the struggle that we go through, we're not learning financial literacy. And that's why I'm grateful for you stepping on this platform, speaking about that, and not only speaking about it on this platform, but you also teach that, right? You live that. And because of that, you're able to help so many people, right? Live that life they desire, right? Live this purpose and that calling. And another thing I want to highlight that you were talking about is, in my opinion, it's freedom. Liberty. You like to get up when you want to get up. You don't want to be restricted and somebody else telling you to do this, when to go to bed, when to get up, when to clock out. Then you clock out, they telling you when to get back. Then if you want to take time off, you got to go through an investigation to find out if you sick. And then you got to see you got the sick leave, and then vacation time. And then you can't go on vacation because you had to use it for sick. Listen, it's a lot. So we're going to address these issues because it's a part of the process. And we don't want to limit this. Like, okay, yes, we started out this series and these seasons by talking about purpose and entrepreneurship and business ownership and all of that. But listen, it's deeper than that. It ain't even about more so. It's not even more so about the business or the entrepreneur, because I'm not a guru in that area, right? It's really about purpose, inspiring, motivating, right? Educating and empowering, so that the listeners and viewers, once you finish hearing us, you got something that you can take away and apply immediately and be effective, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I'm grateful for you, man. Shout out to you for coming in here, man. And you set it on fire. You set it on fire. So I need y'all to go ahead and hit subscribe, right? Hit subscribe, notification bell, you know the rundown, right? Thumbs up, like it if you're getting value. And most importantly, share this to somebody else. Don't hold it for yourself. If you're truly getting something from this, like, don't be selfish, right? Pass it around, because we all need help. We all need love, and we all need purpose and support, right? Now, JJ, talk to me about, let's see, what is probably the most important lessons, right? Or lesson. If it's multiple, we can get into them. But what's the most important lessons that you've learned over your career dealing with, since I like this financial literacy because it's different. So I want to talk about that, because that's something that we're definitely struggling, and that's a need. And you're solving a problem that we have. So what's a lesson that you learned over your career as it pertains to financial literacy? And then tell us about a lesson as it pertains to speaking.
Yeah, for sure. So when it comes to my specific lessons and something that I would share, I would say first it would be discipline. Like, being able to be disciplined is something that you can utilize in life. Yes. And also utilize in the financial world, because when I teach about controlling your credit report, some people are like, yo, how do you do that? So once you understand, or you're able to get something removed, right then and there, it clicked in my brain. If I can get something removed, it's a wrap. Like, I can now control this thing. I can now be able to omit and add different trade lines, accounts, whatever it may be, so that I can go get T.B.M, the bank's money. And now I can use T.B.M, the bank's money, in order to finance my businesses and allow my businesses to finance my lifestyle. So it all goes back around into discipline, because now if I'm getting credit from somebody, I know that I got to pay it back a certain amount of time, right? If I get credit from somebody and they tell me it's 0% for 15 months, I'm about to run that bag up. I'm about to triple, quadruple it, and then I'll pay them their money whenever I get their money back within the 15 months. And that's discipline, being able to be responsible. And now the bank now trusts me. And that's the same thing when it comes to living the life you deserve. That's the same thing to purpose, because what you put inside your body and your mind and your heart, now it's a discipline thing, because anytime you open up any avenue or any opportunity, you're going to be tested. Now there's going to be some sort of obstacle to see if you're even replicable, to see if you have any type of character in order to continue forward with this relationship. And at the end of the day, it's a relationship with you and your source, with you and your mind, with you and your heart. Like, these things that we have to understand whenever we live the life that we desire, and when we live life with purpose. Because when you live life with purpose, there's different ethics that you have to have. There's different responsibilities that you have to have. And when it comes to that, those obstacles are going to come. You feel what I'm saying? And I like to say an airplane cannot land until the ground is clear. So when you're going through life and you plan on going to a certain destination, your foundation has to be clear, it has to be stable. You understand? Like, we have to understand that we can't get distracted by different things. And believe me, these obstacles come in our lives all day, every day. But if you have the strong mindset of where you want to be, then you'll be able to identify these things, identify these obstacles, and know how to move through it. But that also goes back to your past. Yeah, I'd rather crawl to my future than run back to my past. But I have to understand my past before I'm able to crawl to my future. Yeah. You feel what I'm saying? And when you know your past, now you can really step into your future, because you learn from those different lessons. If you don't learn from your past, you will literally start to have the same situation, but in different forms and different obstacles, but the exact same situation over and over and over again. You know what I mean? It'll come in forms of somebody random off the street. It'll come in forms of a car accident. It'll come in forms of maybe somebody bullied you in school and you handle it different. Like, it can come in so many different ways, but at the same time, if you learn from your past and that situation that you went through in the past, you can definitely assess your future and be able to move a lot differently. I hope that answered your question, bro.
Man, that answered the question and so much more, man. And I love it, because we getting so much more than the questions that I'm asking. You know, I've asked these series of questions to multiple guests, because you got to get enough research to accumulate enough data to come to a conclusion, right? So
100.
it's the purpose of asking two people the same question and saying, oh, I got a conclusion. So we're getting so much out of this. And another thing, it hit me when you start talking about the past, and you got to learn from the past so that you know not to make the same mistakes. Listen, I'm gonna be all the way real with you, Jay. I struggled, right? Because people know who've been viewing me and following, and you've been watching the other episodes or what have you. You know that I've talked about several ventures that I've started and that's failed, right? Several different times, right? I kept trying to do this business and I kept failing. Let me tell you what a struggle that I had. The hard thing for me when you're trying to live on purpose, like you said, it comes with ethics and it comes with standards and discipline. The hardest thing for me, man, was being so focused on the service of it, right? Serving, right? Ministering to people, catering to the needs of people, adding value to people, to the point to where I literally had to stop one day and realize, like, I started businesses and I'm not making money. I'm providing a product and service that's adding value, but I'm not making a living. I'm not earning. I'm hurting myself because I'm spending everything I got just to continue to add value. And I realized that the very thing that I was doing, I ended up losing the love for it, because it began to be a burden, because I didn't know, right? I didn't know how to find or identify gifts and talents that would create income, right? And then use it for the business. Or I didn't know about the credit, the other people's money and the bank's money. See, I didn't have these fundamental, so I had to learn them the hard way. And now, as a businessman, right, family to take care of and all of that, I have been able to become wiser in my business endeavors. And now my road of success looks a lot different than it did with all of the other businesses, because I'm learning and I'm growing. So I said that, Jerome, to let the people know that it's not gonna, you may not get it right on your first try, right?
Yeah.
But that failure is experience. And we just got through talking about lessons that you've learned. All right. So now with that being said, in your opinion, Jerome, right? Yeah. Like, what is the most important, right? The most important personality trait or strength that someone would need to have to be successful in your industry?
Yeah. That's heavy.
my bad, man. Hey,
no, that's cool. No.
Like that.
No, that's good, because there's, in my opinion, there's multiple things, but since you say pick one, I would go to responsibility and accountability. I'm gonna add both of those in there, because at the end of the day, you have to be responsible in order to hold yourself accountable. You feel what I'm saying? Like, you can be accountable, hold yourself accountable. If you're not responsible in holding yourself accountable, now you're teeter-tottering. You know what I'm saying? Because there's times where we might come to a situation where we have to hold ourselves accountable, but we're not responsible in doing that, which means we'll drop the ball. Like, it's easy. I say it's easy because I've done it multiple times, but of course we have to learn. Like, it's easy to get a bag, but if you're not responsible in getting that bag, you're going to fumble it. Like, you can get $1 million, but if you can't maintain it, you're going to fumble the bag. Yeah. You feel what I'm saying? So I would say the accountability, but also having that responsibility to anchor you so that you can now be responsible for your actions and hold you accountable for your desires, and hold yourself accountable to reach the goals that you want to reach in the future.
Hey, I love that, man. You gave us a 2-for-1, man. I call that a coupon. Growing up, I grew up, coupons mean stuff. And my wife still be using them coupons. I be like, hey, we got the money. She be like, hey, that don't mean we got to spend it all. That's wisdom. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Accountability, right? And responsibility. You got to be responsible enough to hold yourself accountable. And that's why it's a good idea to have accountability partners, right? Someone else that'll hold you accountable to doing what you said you were going to do. That's another issue I ran into. It was nothing for me to jump up on somebody else's clock, bro, and go all in and do the best job for them. But it was very hard for me to have that same level of commitment for myself. And I'm like, wait a minute, how is it that I can add more value to somebody else's company, empower and enrich someone else's vision and purpose, and then half step when it's my own God-given purpose or calling, man? So come on.
You know what, big bro, I can attest to that, because me personally, like, I'm really gifted and connected with others. And when someone reach out to me with a project, I'm all in. If it makes sense, I'm all in. I'm giving 1,000. But when it comes to now doing my own project, I'm gonna do a little bit here, and I'm gonna go eat something. I'm gonna go chill, and I'm gonna go do a little bit there. I'm not 1,000 in it. You know what I mean? I'm like 50, 60. At the end of the day, I'm 100, but I'm not 1,000 off the gate. You get what I'm saying? So that definitely, like, it hit with me as well. And I'll learn from that, because it's so easy to get caught up in somebody else's project or somebody else's endeavors, that, like, why aren't you not doing that for yourself? And that's the same thing when it comes to a job. And that's why entrepreneurship can be difficult for a lot of people. That's why speaking can be difficult for a lot of people, because now it's up to you. Like, you're the all-star of this. Like, you are the all-star and a team player. You feel what I'm saying? Like, okay, I work a job. I got to get up at 7 a.m. I'm up at 6:30. Let's be there on time. You know what I mean? Now I got a project that I got to do at 7 for my own endeavors.
Come on.
Okay, it's 7. I'm asleep to about 7:10. You know what I mean?
Abusing your authority. Abusing your authority. Yep.
Exactly. You're abusing. I love it. abuse, man, y'all go ahead and hit that subscribe button.
Come on with
You're
it.
abusing your authority. I might get up at 6:50 just because I know that it's my time and I can start at 7. You know what I mean?
Who gonna check me? I'm the boss.
I'm a BOSS. I'm the boss. But at the same time, I had to learn that as well. And now I'm all in on me because I know if I give myself 1,000 and I partner with somebody else, it's a wrap. Now I can literally 10x, 20x their business by going all in on myself and then partner with them. And now I'm using my energy for that. But at the same time, it's now internal. So I just had to say that because you're not alone, my brother. Yeah. I went through it as well. Yeah. And there's also still times I go through it, but at the same time, it's just on another level. You know what I mean? Since I still have control of my time and my entrepreneurship endeavors, I'm the authority. So the ego part of me and the entrepreneur mindset a part of me, now it's like, okay, you got to get this done. Mm-hmm. You feel what I'm saying? It's on your time. Yeah. But you got to get this done at this time. So let's get it.
Yeah. And I wanted to mention that, bro, because I got to be transparent. I want to be all the way transparent with my listeners, viewers, because at the end of the day, we don't be honest with ourselves. We blame, like we just got through talked about how we ready, we Johnny on the spot when it comes to doing something for a 9 to 5 or, you know what I'm saying, a boss or something like that. But then when it comes to ourselves, we half step, we play with it. You understand what I'm saying? And there's so many people that are viewing right now who they got all the gifts, all the talent, all the skill, all the ability in the world, but it's that one word that's keeping them and us from being successful. It's discipline, lack of discipline, right? Yeah. That accountability, right? And that responsibility, that's discipline. So you got to be disciplined enough to hold yourself accountable. And these are lessons that we had to learn the hard way. And we're sharing these embarrassing stories to you so that you don't make the same mistakes we made, so that you can hit the ground running and that it don't take you as long as it took us. Now, hey, Jay, check it out.
Yeah.
Give me this one. Because I know we talking about some good stuff right now, which lets me know that I know you done got hit with some challenges. I know you done got hit with some adversity. I know you done got hit with some obstacles. So answer me this, right? What is the biggest challenge that you're facing right now in your business? But also let us know how you dealing with it, because we want them to know you're going to have some problems, you're going to have some challenges, but we want them to know that they can deal with it if they tackle it. And
yeah, absolutely. So right now, the biggest challenge, I can be 100% transparent. Everything is going very, very well for me right now. But at the same time, like you say, there's always a challenge. Right now, the biggest challenge is one, people say I give away too much information. Me personally, I think it's a good thing, but at the same time, it could, and it has been a challenging moment for me because now when I give so much information, okay. So when you come to business, you have to know the numbers to grow the numbers. Right. I've learned that.
Them some bars, know the numbers to grow the numbers.
You got to know the numbers to grow the numbers. So I have my own set of numbers that I want to hit at the end of the month. Right. So we have to be strategic with this. Me being me, I gave away so much information at this one event where I could have 5x my investment. But since I gave away so much, there was nothing for them to buy. Wow. It just wasn't there. You feel what I'm saying? So understanding that you have to know your environment, and I'm coming from an entrepreneur standpoint. You have to know your environment whenever you're actually delivering. Yes, always come from the heart when it comes to speaking. Yes, always come from the heart when it comes to entrepreneurship. Yes, have a sense of integrity, but at the same time, you have to also know business is business. And we have to separate business and pleasure at some point in time. And for me, my personal experience at this specific event, I gave away so much information that there was nothing for them to buy anymore. So therefore, I didn't hit my goals for that month. Yes, it could be a blessing because I might double up next month, but it still stands that I did not hit that goal. And it was because of that. I only needed to do like 3 or 4 sales. And after the event, I had 10, 11, 12 people coming up to me. So I could have sold them, but I was so caught up in just delivering that the entrepreneurship mindset of mine, it didn't exist at the time.
Yeah,
you feel what I'm saying?
You were too busy ministering to the needs of the people, which is valuable. Don't misunderstand us. It is valuable, but
100.
we got to remember, like when in business, like the goal of the business is to make income, right? And you're gonna cause yourself to suffer unnecessarily, like I did, because I loved what I was doing, but I was broke doing it. It was costing me money to do it, and everybody was benefiting from it. But then I'm still suffering. I'm still struggling, and it's like, okay, let me regroup. Let me figure out what I love doing, what I'm good at, what I'm gifted at. Let me separate the two, all right, and figure out, okay, where does the purpose lie, right? Because I'm not supposed to live a life of just doing what I love doing when I know I have responsibilities as a husband and a father. Like, unfortunately, like I don't have that luxury to just keep getting up talking about what I want to do and what I love doing if it's not bringing in the income. So we have to know that balance, and we have to know that, unfortunately, you do have to know the numbers in order to grow the numbers. I love that, Jay. Now, check it out. I wish we had more time, but before I get to the next question, I want you to let the listeners know and the viewers know, like, where are you on social media? What's your website? Do you have anything exciting coming up? Like, go ahead and let us know where we can find you at, Jerome.
Yeah. I'm glad you asked. Mr. Royal Credit on all platforms. Instagram, Mr. Royal Credit. You can find me, Mr. Royal Credit, on Facebook, also known as Jerome Johnson II. And I'm actually coming up with a free webinar. So all the game that you've delivered, that I was able to deliver here on Mr. Pope's platform, you're going to get a whole lot more on the free webinar. So stay tuned, hit my DM. Also, you can reach out to me at my community number. Let me give it to you real quick. It's 310-564-8017. I update all of my people that tap into the Royal Credit Club, all the promotions I got coming up. I do give away a lot of free stuff. And at the same time, my whole purpose within this platform of financial literacy, I just need you to execute. At the end of the day, execute, even if it's one piece of information, execute it and come back and let me know how that worked out for you. Once again, Mr. Royal Credit on all platforms, and the number is 310-564-8017.
Yeah, my bro say he got the community number for you, right? And also, don't just speed through it. My bro say Mr. Royal Credit, right?
Yeah.
Hey, man, come on, King. Do I need to say more? All right, I'm gonna leave it alone. All right. That went over some of their head, but it'll catch it when they do it on the replay. All right. Now, check it out, man, because I gotta respect your time. And I find myself saying this on a lot of my interviews, because I be wanting to keep people, man, and continue the conversation. Because it's just wonderful when you love doing what you do, and what you do provides value to others. Come on, man. You really can't beat that. We talking about purpose over here. All right.
We rocking out though. Don't trip. I put an hour out of my time. We good, man.
Yeah. So, all right, cool. Now let me ask you this, right? To that person who even if they don't necessarily want to be an entrepreneur or a business owner, and I just, I don't know, I found myself in this space talking about entrepreneurship and business ownership because I sent out a request for a few interviews, and it's been overwhelming support coming in, and I've gotten so many interviews to the point to where now it's more so just about adding value and empowering anybody who's listening, whether they trying to get into business or not. If you are a human being, right, and breathing oxygen, and you got a pulse like we got a pulse, like, Jerome, what is that thing that you would say, that one piece of advice that you would say to that person who they just having a bad week, they having a bad month, they going through some finances, they don't understand financial literacy, but they want to be that difference maker in their life, right? For their family, right? For their community. They want to do something bigger than themselves, but they're struggling, right? Trying to figure out if they're good enough, or if they know enough, or if they know enough people. Like, what would you say to that person who really want to make a difference, but they just don't know that they can make a difference?
Yeah, I want them to understand, like, first of all, social media is a large platforms. All right. And when you see these different posts, just know that everybody, not just some people, everybody has public success and private challenges. On whatever scale it is, they have that public success because they post what they want to post, right? At the end of the day, whatever you want to post is what you're going to post. But also understand that these same people are just like you, and they have private challenges. So you're not alone on any challenge. Like, you're not alone because we have to go through these things. This is just life. You feel what I'm saying? So I would say, in order to get past that, you actually laid the blueprint, Brother Demont. You told people to assess themselves earlier, and y'all can rewind, but he said assess yourself, understand what you like to do, what you don't like to do. Like, doing these type of things and actually writing them down, you can now really assess yourself. And when different people call you and have these different conversations, if it's not fruitful to your life, or if it's toxic to your life, you can pinpoint these things. So like I say, energy, it never dies. You transform it. So having that mentality that you can transform the energy and what people say, in, like, once you know who you are and assess yourself, you can now transform these different energies. You can kill that negative vibe that someone started talking about. Sally did this and did that and did this. Like, you can now kill that. Like, yo, I don't really have time for that right now. I got to do this. I got to do that. If it doesn't give fruit to your life, understand it's not for you. And with that being said, when it comes to these challenges, don't allow these challenges to put fear in your heart. There's different acronyms you can use for fear, so you can actually understand what it really is. False evidence appearing real, right? Also, I got one more.
Take your time, bro.
Finally exiting average reality. Like, to really be able to go to the next level, you have to understand that fear is a facade. It can be real if you allow it to be. This goes back to energy. I just want to give enough analogy so that you can understand that these different words, these are nothing more than energies that are being passed around. So whatever's in your feed, or whoever's in your last 10 text messages, if they're not giving you fruit, if they're not giving you positive energy, delete, unfollow. Like, I unfollow every single week. I have to, that's not has anything to do with that person. That's just assessing my own life, what I want to see on my feed. Maintenance, yes. Exactly what it is. So being able to assess yourself, and then going outward and assessing your social media, assessing the people that's on your call log, on your text messages. That's one information or one gem that I would actually give you, is to know that everybody goes through different challenges, but at the same time, you have the power to assess these things and now give it positive energy. And understanding that whenever you start to reap these positive things, they're not just for you. Like, an apple tree doesn't grow apples for the tree. It's for people. You know what I'm saying? It's for animals. It's, so you have to understand that.
So what you're telling me is that the apple tree doesn't eat the apple from the
apple
tree?
It can't. You know what I mean? It drinks water. You know what I mean? It digs down into the roots.
So what you're telling me is that you and I, what we're producing, is it safe to say that what we're producing may not be necessarily for us to eat the fruit of it?
Yes, sir.
Ooh,
absolutely.
Come on, man.
Now we're talking about legacy. When you talk about legacy, your ceiling should be your kids or your nieces and nephews' floor. So now what they're standing on is something that you've created that maxed out your potential, and now they can take it to a whole nother level.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean?
That's crazy that you said that, because I know on 2 separate interviews I've used that analogy as far as someone else's ceiling being your floor. So when you said that, that's why I'm like, that's my guy right there, because you wasn't even around. I haven't even published those episodes, so I know you haven't heard it. So where did it come from, right? There we go, man. That's how you know when you're walking in purpose. Out of the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, that word shall be established, and it is being established here. Listen, Jerome, I want to thank you, man, for taking time out today. I know you got a busy schedule. Like I said, man, we in different time zones, but you still thought it wasn't robbery, man, to come kick it with you, bro, and add value. And I'm asking simple questions, but you going so in depth, man. Thank you for spending time with us right now. And what I want to say to y'all that's listening is we finna get ready to get up off of this particular episode. But listen, it's your big brother, Demont Pope, aka Mr. Purpose over Pointless Excuses. I will be back next week with more special guests, somebody else that's going to add some more value, just like JJ did. But listen, do me a favor, reach out to JJ, Mr. Royal Credit, right? Let it be known, right? Thumbs up, subscribe, do whatever you got to do to let us know if we help somebody on this particular episode. Listen, JJ, thank you so much, bro. You know what I'm saying? Hold the line. Don't you go nowhere. Everybody else, you know what I'm saying? Until next week, it's your big bro, Demont Pope, a.k.a. Mr. Purpose over Pointless Excuses. Listen, purpose looks good on you. Now go out there, realize your true potential, right? And become your authentic self. Yeah.